Hello everybody, I'm one of the lucky people who's got a comfortable home office with a desk, seat, double monitors, mouse, keyboard, all in a nice quiet environment. Well, during nursery hours anyway. I'm experienced with what I can do, so I can pretty much work autonomously and therefore have not seen any drop in my work output during the past 18 months while I've transitioned to working from home. If you're lucky like me, you're probably thinking, well, I don't need to go back into the office. I can just save that commuting time and that cost and carry on working from home, perhaps even moving out of the commuter belt into a bigger home. However, the working world is not made up just of people like you and me. There's a whole load of people who need and want to go into the office to develop their careers, also for enjoyment and well-being. In this video, I'm going to explain why there'll be so much demand from so many people to get back into the office that even people like me and you will find it in their best interest to come back to. So, let me explain why you'll be back in the office shortly. Okay, let's talk about the working world. I'm presenting it here as 3 different buckets. Top brass, C-suite members, other senior managers who steer the direction of the company. Middle management, people like me who can execute the orders of the top brass and manage the junior workers to get things done. And lastly, junior workers, the people who actually do most of the work. If we talk through these 3 different groups of people, we'll see what drives them and how this influences their desire to be in the office or not. Okay, we've already talked a little bit about middle management, i.e. people like me. So, well trained, able to execute their work to a high standard autonomously at home. Obviously there are exceptions, but as a general average, they have better working from home environments than junior workers. And also have a desire to maximise the time they spend at home, particularly if they have families. So we conclude that this group will on average have a strong desire to stick with working from home. Let's look at the next group. The top brass, the upper echelons of a company. How will they feel about things? Well, to get to the top, you have to be good with people, leading, influencing and negotiating. You need to be creative and inspirational, all things which work best in person. It's hard to have gravitas when you're just this little blob on a laptop screen. And don't forget, these are the people who hold the purse strings. So they'll also be aware of the benefits of reducing office footprints and saving all the costs which come with it. So they will be excited by smart working. But I think personally, they're going to want to be in the office with others. Let's turn our attention to junior workers. And we need to remember that this group makes up the bulk of the workers in any organisation. Now, junior workers are not defined by their age, but by ability. People in this group need to acquire new skills to do their jobs and to advance their careers. If they're also young, then they probably want to socialise too. Lots of people make lifelong friends and also meet their spouses at work, not to mention the benefits of a wide work network for future career opportunities. And it is surprisingly hard to keep up with acquaintances whilst working from home. Research shows that you operate in a much smaller bubble of people when you're working from home than you do in the office. And I know this is true from my own experiences of going into the office and finding I'm talking to people I knew but realised I hadn't spoken to in months. Add these 2 needs to this group having on average less good working from home environments. You often see people sitting on beds or in kitchens working on laptops, for example. Then we can see that this group will have a strong desire to be back in the office with others. As these people do most of the work, you can see that keeping this group happy is fundamentally important to the company's success. Let's go back to our middle managers who, as we discussed, personally don't want to come back to the office. Well, they don't work in a vacuum. Work might be controlled by these middle managers, but most of it is done by the junior workers under supervision. And these junior workers need to be trained up, attracted and retained to get everything done. We've all seen how difficult it is to onboard people virtually, how hard it is to build a team spirit, train people up and to recruit to fill any gaps in this new normal we've been living in. Going into the office will make all these things easier to do and hence make the lives of senior managers easier too. And senior managers aren't all done yet on the career ladder either. They still need to learn on the job if they want to get promoted, and that means interacting with other senior managers and the top brass too. Again, this learning is best done face to face. And lastly, and I think this is really key, and maybe this isn't right or fair, but it is human nature. being visible is still the best way to get a pay rise. If you're not at those big meetings with the top brass, then no one is going to see all the good work you're doing by yourself at home. And when a recession comes along, as they periodically do, and cuts need to be made, who is easier to get rid of? Person A, who sits next to you and you know from chats has a mortgage and kids, or person B, who you've never really got to know and never even met? Again, it's human nature we're dealing with here. So adding these all up, I think that even comfortable middle managers will conclude that they have to be in the office. Which means, yeah, everyone will feel the need to be back in the office shortly. This is regardless of whether your company is currently signalling a return to the old work, a work from home new normal, or smart working as their current future. So hence, what we need to do is have a plan to make this return as efficient and effective as possible. And I'll be explaining how I think we can achieve this in the next video in this series. So hit that subscribe button to ensure you don't miss out on finding out what's in my smart working manifesto. And do also let me know in the comments if you agree or not, and why. We need to have this debate now before the new normal gets imposed on us from above. So please join the conversation, share your views. Thank you. Bye.